G'day! We have Gravrith back. She is now overlooking the North Downs. And is going to help out the men of the West, the Rangers. The Dunedain are here, rumor has it. Apparently they're hiding, which means they might not be easy to find. I guess we will see. Alright. So, Trestle Bridge has gone under some serious problems here. This is not good. Buildings are smoking. Things are on fire. Not good at all. Really not good at all. And I have been sent to aid them. Apparently this poor gentleman needs to clear his name.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Can you help me? Sure.
Will you help me?
Help you. Search Trestle Bridge for the cause of the explosion. What I get? Complete quest within the North Downs. Okay, I will do that. Uh-oh. Black powder. You have found an exploded barrel amidst the rubble, covered in fine black powder. The plot thickens, as they say. Search Trestle Bridge. Apparently there are 3 pieces of evidence I need to find. If I can. That's sad. Severin's got a tough job here, lining up coffins. Poor guy. What does this guy want now? I swear it wasn't my fault. I didn't fall asleep on duty.
Might I take a moment of your time?
You were on guard duty. You were drugged, you think? Wow. That's not good at all. Well, let's go find out if that is true. Oh. Bring the powder to Captain Trotter.
Greetings.
What's this then? Incendiary powder of some sort.
Could I speak with you a moment?
Uh-oh. Suddenly their problems are complicated. Complicated is what I do, so... Elsie.
Would you do something for me?
Sure. The orcs took some of your stuff, and you want it back. That I can do.
What do you need?
Orc camps. can tell just by looking at the nasty things. We will go and investigate the orc camps. Defeat Tarkrip orcs. And wandering cruel beaks. Ouch! That blew up. And I blew it up again. Can never be too sure about blowing up orc incendiary powder. Another cauldron. Apparently the cauldron's not explosive, or else it would be sitting here right beside the fire. I suppose it's being cooked. Alright, where's the crate? Come on, crate. Come back. That's the crate? That's not the crate. The torch is gone. That was a crappy torch. Is there no crate at that one? There's one here. Author in Lodris is getting here just before me. Oh, there it is. Back. And oh, I didn't even shoot. Destroyed the Blackfire at the second encampment. Or in this case, the third, because I was already here. Ooh. What are you up to? No good, I imagine. Which means I think I need to get rid of you. A book torn apart. Collect old map pages. Oh, maps are fun. Sure, I'll do that. I will steal back these stolen goods. What do these orcs do all day? They just kind of like hang out. This guy's a raider, so I would assume he goes raiding. He just seems to be sitting here under this somewhat pitiful tent. The Founder's Book of Trestlebridge. I know you have a map. Give up your map. I demand it. Hey, I got the map. I'm sure they'll be better off. Oh, he wasn't so tough. You know, I thought he was. That cool name and all. Missed. You have defeated a number of the invading Carabane. Return to Trestlebridge. Isn't this a beautiful bridge, though? It is pretty cool. Very cool. Very defensible. Even before they burn it to the ground. Which, if in dire need, they could. Yes, evil surrounds you. I got your stuff.
What can I do for you? Would you do something for me?
Okay. You needed wood for barricades. Hey, friend. I found some evidence that supports your story. You found something to prove that we were drugged? No, I found some supporting evidence. It doesn't prove anything. That is wonderful. You must show the captain at once. He can set me free.
Stay a moment.
Whoa, that's exciting. You're getting out. All right. Go talk to the captain on this guy's behalf. The Founder's Book. Yes, I recovered it, nasty orcs. Hello, Captain.
What can I do for you?
Hey, Free Talbot. Look at that. We have saved the poor sop that fell asleep. Or got drugged by the orcs. Sorry. Talk to Maddie Woodruff. Where's Maddie Woodruff? Is she near here? Yes. No. No, she is not. cannot thank you enough. Oh. You couldn't thank me enough, so you have to thank me too.
What do you need? Stay a moment.
Find and enter the dangerous pass of Nan Wathran. Probably not right now, or at least not by myself. You are not earning any experience at this time. No, I am not. Sorry, reading the
I
log.
don't know if you can help me.
Search for the half-orc who planted the powder. Is that the dude that I killed? So Maddie is just up here on the road. On the greenway to Fornost. Ancient capital. Of Arnor. Maddie.
Oh, it's a shoddy day.
Yeah, she did. So Elsie sent you. Yes, she did. I'm glad of it. Good. Well, I'm here.
A moment of your time.
If you don't get a wheel for this cart, this lumber ain't going anywhere. Collect the cartwheel. Can I just do a cartwheel? I probably can't. Can you? I wonder if you can do a cartwheel. Emotes. Nope. There is nothing that looks like a cartwheel. I can do a handstand. This window's gigantic. Instead of a cartwheel, will this do? Nope. Apparently I need to get a cartwheel. That I can do. Hey, a cartwheel. Oh my gosh, a dead horse. That doesn't look good either. Where are you going? Apparently your tent with no walls has a front door and you have to leave through it. Okay, buddy. Poor horse. Not like you either. You probably had something to do with that poor horse. All right, cartwheel in hand. We will deliver it to Maddie. You just put up a tent? So your cart broke down, you just put up a tent? Just sitting here defending it?
I'm sorry. Did you need some?
Hey, you found one. This one looks like it'll work. It's a bit smaller than the other wheels. Like you'll just go around in circles and we'll be back here later.
Help me.
All right. Talk to Elsie Woodruff. Well, first, I have to go search for the half-orc who planted the powder. That's probably that nasty guy I had a disagreement with earlier. silly bird. Will trouble me no longer. Excuse me, I'm looking for a half-orc that didn't... Wait! Oh, God, I can't even ask my question. What's your problem? Gosh! Is that the only word you know? Fire? Is this him? Yes, it is. Found me out, did you? I did. You should not be leaving your sleeping potions out in the open like that for me to find. It wasn't even hard to find you at. Wasn't even hard. Alright. Return to Aggie. Talk to Elsie. What did I get here? Deed bestowed. Defeat orcs in the North Downs. I think I could pull that off. Gravrith does like killing orcs. Goblins especially.
I didn't earn anything, I'm sure.
You don't? So I defeated the ugly brute. And you will have less to do now because of it.
Please, stay a
Travel to the
moment.
crossroads north of the Greenway.
What do you need?
I got a cartwheel. I gave him a handstand. He didn't want it. He insisted on a cartwheel. All right. Well, I've helped out these friendly people in Trufflebridge. Now I must head to the crossroads. So what crossroads are these? I don't know what road this is. I guess it's not a... It's part of this road. It's interesting. It would be the road that went from both Angmar to Fornost, as well as from Anunimus to Fornost, and of course Anunimus to Angmar. This particular road has fallen. Mostly through disuse. Heavy ash. Well, I can't turn up heavy. I always got to take the... I always got to take the heavy versions, or the rich versions. The signpost points to a dark land to the north, Fornost. The light of a campfire catches your eye. Oh, campfires! That means rangers. Yep, look at that. Mincham, the ranger. Beware the fields, they have driven men mad.
I'm sorry. Did you need something?
Ah, hail, traveler. If you're in need of a warm fire or a meal, we are welcome. Whoa, that was a lot of rep. That was a ton of rep. I got like 26,000, just boom. They've completed. Of glories long past. Got some points to spend. Now I have to delete more glories of long past. Introduce yourself to Colbert the Mad.
Hello there.
The man fixes you with a hard stare, lines of amusement etched into his pale skin. Yes, I am Colbert the Mad. I came out of Fornost and lived to tell the tale. I remember no time before, but I walked the dark fields and saw many things. You are Gravrith the Mad. Yes, mad, mad, mad to come to this place. There are ghosts, yes, and evil spirits. More terrible than any are the bears.
Oh, grey is the
Nice
shadow
cameo
of my
from
eyes.
Colbert. Oh, uncomfortable things in the distance.
Will you stay a moment?
Getting a lot of
and
quests
learn
done, I'm
of
not
my
even
troubles?
moving. What are you hearing? What do your elf ears hear? Meditate? I'm Bjorning. Do I meditate? I guess I can. Meditating. 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 Boom. Oh! Far off song. Ghostly and unsettling. Find the source of the unsettling song. Okay then. I am an adventurer. That is what I do. I will find that unsettling song. You branches. You branches. Hey, you branches. Cruel grip. Barghast. Missed. No deed for them. Pretty sure there's a deed for these guys, though. So get that started. Redeemer. How exciting. Defeats Shades in North Downs. Ah, I'm trapped. Is there a deed for you? Probably not. Nope. No deed for the bats. La 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 lily. Red with blood where life has fled. Red with
Why are
blood
you
where life
bothering
has
me?
fled. You are mad. Ow. What are you doing? I can turn into a bear. You've driven off the fell spirit, Alnathorn from Idleline. Idleline? Idleline? We shall meet again. Gone. Oh, you saved me from her, from Alnathorn. Thrawn. Okay, you get back. And I will go back as well. Alnathron. That's a tough name to ring off. Alnathron. Ithremen. Ithremen. You did well. Thank you. Glad you think so. Probably don't want your little club. I got a better one.
Would you stay a moment and learn of my troubles?
Oh, so she was tricked by the fell spirit.
Greetings, friend.
Greetings. Find and explore the strange piles of earth. Search for the deathly lights. Search for graves. There's probably going to be some nasty things going on down here. If I have to search graves, How well do you think that's going to turn out? Probably not well. And there's U branches everywhere. I do need my U branches. Defeat Barghasts. I missed. Villainous Oathbreaker, you villain and Oathbreaker. My goodness. There's just like nothing redeemable about you. Whoa! This guy does not want me to have his U branches. Alright, I'll deal with you first then. Villainous Oathbreaker. It's not something well to be known as, a villain and an Oathbreaker. I don't think there's anything over here for me. Who's that? I defeated many shades. And for the... Oh, there's a grave over here. Go check out the grave. I was told to investigate graves. I'm not doing anything I'm not supposed to be doing. The ranger sent me. That's my excuse for everything that I did. The ranger told me to. Searching the grave. The grave has been recently disturbed. All right. Head toward this other grave. Apparently I can take out this dude. This dead thing. He gets a name. Clearly he's a extra villainous Oathbreaker. Akasath has been defeated. Oh, there's another grave. This grave has recently been disturbed. This grave has recently been disturbed. You know what? I'm finding this very disturbing. A fell glimmer. Investigate. A strange tomb. More fun. What do you want, more fun? What? You have dispersed Morofon's fell light. I feel much better about myself now. Undispersed light is just not something we want in our neck of the woods. Come down off your rock, chieftain. I'll take you out. Let me guess. This grave has been recently disturbed. All right then. Digging for relics. Dig, dig, dig. It felt like there was going to be consequences for digging in a graveyard. Just didn't seem like something I was going to easily get away with. Why am I digging up these graves anyway? Is this just part of my investigation? A bound corpse. You are richer for your troubles. Oh, I was just robbing graves. Hagavik, how are you? I am going fine. Very nice to see you. Thanks for dropping in. Happy New Year. Success. We've made it to 2018. Hopefully not worse for wear. Search for graves. Oh, there's one over here, according to my map. Happy New Year! We made it! Yes, we did. Nithir the Cold. Defeat Nithir. So, any New Year's resolutions to speak of? Where's Nithir? I'm so confused. Oh, over here. But there's another grave right here. I may actually start streaming this game. Awesome. It's fun streaming this game. I think it's a fairly, I'd say, easy game to stream. Because it's easy to like pause. I like interacting with others and have been playing for the last 10 years. Wow. Well, then you should, because you probably have good stories. I've only been playing about 6 years. Come closer, queer creature. You're queer. You're just rude. Oh, you're tough, too. So, hey, why not give it a shot? A little nervous, though. Yeah, that's, I understand. I don't necessarily put myself out in front of people all that easily, so I get a little nervous every time I turn on the stream. But it's fun. It's really cool when people just come and hang out and chat and enjoy what you're doing alongside you. It can be really enjoyable. I'll tell you a story. I was streaming on, I don't know if you're from the US or not. It was Thanksgiving Day, US Thanksgiving Day. It's a Thursday afternoon. And I was streaming a game called Rocksmith, technically Rocksmith 2014, the latest version of it. And if you're not familiar with that game, it is, if you think about it like Rock Band, except you actually play a real guitar and it actually tracks real note accuracy fairly well. It does a pretty good job of tracking note accuracy and whatnot. So you actually play along with songs, and you actually play the entire riff of the guitarist and whatnot. So I'm actually set up to stream that, which is one of the reasons that I have a green screen, because normally you don't really need there's lots of great streamers that don't have green screens.
The shadow upon my heart.
But in Rocksmith, if you want to see like a person and the whole guitar, it takes up, my camera's a little bit different set up for it, but you're big on the screen, so you would end up, if you don't have a green screen, you end up blocking out a huge chunk of the game interface. And so anyway, so I was streaming Rocksmith, and I'm not a very good guitarist. I can play some of the songs fairly well, the easier songs certainly fairly well. And but I'm playing on Thanksgiving Day, and this guy comes into the stream, and I suspect that most of the people that dropped into my stream that day were from Europe. Like it was probably their evening, like Thursday evening for them. It was Thursday afternoon for me, and this guy just started making requests. He didn't say anything else in chat. He just started listing off band names. And so I did my best to play as many songs as I could from his requests. But somebody else jumped into the stream and was there, and the guy had requested Queen. So I'm like, okay, I'll play Queen now. And there's a bunch of songs you actually have to change the tuning on the guitar. So I'd done a bunch of that. Anyway, I go to play Queen, and this guy in chat goes, "Oh, it's funny you should mention Queen. I saw them last night in Copenhagen." I'm like, I'm about to play Queen to these strangers, and I cannot play it very well. I was playing Keep Yourself Alive. And I'm like, wait, so you heard Brian May play this like 24 hours, less than 24 hours ago, and now you're going to watch me butcher it. They were very generous with their remarks in chat. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I played 1979 by the Smashing Pumpkins. Is that the name of the song? 1979? Yeah. And the guy's like, "This is my favorite song ever." Thankfully, I can actually play that song reasonably well. But yeah, streaming's fun. It's it can be a little nerve-wracking at times, but yeah, I don't stream Rocksmith very much. I don't. It's hard to do, and it's hard to do for any length of time. One, playing guitar is hard work. I suppose if I had more people in chat, I could spend more time chatting and less time actually playing guitar. But I just don't tend to get that many people in chat, so, or at least not yet. It takes a long time to get people up, get people following you and paying attention. You do a great job. Thanks. Thank you. Biggest thing is just to kind of keep chatting. I'll go and hide then. Oh, there's nothing else to do. The Dunedain cannot withstand the might of the dead. Bet you they can. Whoa! You have like a lot of dead. It's not fair. I was expecting to fight you, not all of you. Yeah, keep the combo going, for sure. Of course, when I get into a fight that's hard, I have to like pay attention. Especially when I've got like +3 dread on me here. Olnathron has been defeated. Yeah, with 10 years of LotRO, though, I've got some good stories to tell. Because I know some of the stories, but they're secondhand, right? Like Everswim, I don't think I've ever been to. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I don't think I've ever been to Evendom without the fast boats. Oh, that's just it right here. It looked like it was on top of the wall. Got it. Talk to Minchum. That was a chore back in the day. Yeah, I can imagine. Like, it's funny because, of course, there's that, There's that one little island where Floyd and DeWitt are. Well, of course, I didn't know Floyd and DeWitt were there until the scavenger hunt, because there's the sandcastle out there the scavenger hunt takes you out for. And so I don't think I'd ever seen, like I swam from that nearest little boat out there, and that's not even very far. Like, man, people used to swim across this whole thing. Talk about a bio break in a game, like. One thing that's cool is I'm in, if you know Alapenya, one of the LotRO streamers, he's got a, oh right, he's got an all-captain kin on Gladden. So I joined him, and one of the goals is to do some of the content with all captains at level. So I actually did Karn Doom for the first time last week at level. I'd never been in Karn Doom before on level. I went in there, I knew it because I'd went in there like over level just to kind of explore it. But long after that was the end game of LotRO.
It's a sorry day.
I bet that was a blast on level. Yeah, it was. And you know what? We did it with 5 captains. We were between 48 and 50. And it was actually easy. And I don't know if... Like, I was actually surprised how easy it was. I mean, captains are fairly versatile. So even though you've only got one class, you still have a fairly diverse set of skills. But yeah, I thought it would have been harder than that.
Will you hear my sorrows?
We used to do that at level 50. You had to have a good 3 to 4 hour block set aside. Yeah, the skill trees have made classes much more overpowered than previously. That makes sense. Yeah, I assumed it was probably something along those lines, that characters just got more powerful through mechanics, not through levels, than they had been in the past. Man, it'd be nice if there was some kind of... If there was some kind of math that these game designers could use, that you know, you could move people up and down in level, so you could bring them closer together, and then keep all the... Like, I'd love to get into a group at level 40 or level 50 Karn Doom, regardless of where all the players are, and have it, you know, at level 50, and then scale all the players to 50. I think it was a move to make game more solo friendly. Yeah, that makes sense. I admit I'm probably... You know, you can blame me. When I first started playing the game, I don't do very well, and I don't get into groups very well and whatnot. And part of it is just length of commitment time to play. So I would come and go from the game largely because I get frustrated with the harder content. You know, as I, stream and walk a Bjorning around fairly easy content in the North Downs. I recall Minstrel's pre-war speech had almost no offensive attacks. Yeah, that would be a good idea. Yeah, it'd be cool to be able to do that. I mean, I think WoW did. I played WoW, but I haven't played WoW in years. But I think they had, like, you could, when you created a fellowship, you could say anybody who joins this fellowship gets scaled up or down to a particular level. I mean, if you could do that, then you wouldn't even have to change the instances or the skirmishes or whatever. speak with Amarion at Amonraith.
Would you do something
Investigate Amarun. Mad, mad, mad. Ah, poor Colbert. Guess I don't have to walk over there. LotRO seem to struggle with level scaling. Things are so easy in most cases. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the content, the challenge gets too easy. Yeah, I mean, they have to err. I mean, for raids, they've been erring on the side of too difficult. But when something's too difficult, like as soon as something's too difficult, it's impossible. Or at the very least, impossible for the vast majority of people. So you kind of get this wall that you have to stay away from. Kind of wall of difficulty that you have to stay away from. And as a result, you end up with a game that's probably too easy for a lot of people. It's also tough. I mean, just players in general. Like, you watch some people play and they're just so good at the game. But that's just not most people. And that's a tough thing to try and build a good player base, good strong player base. It's going to fund your game development. Sins, hi. Just started to download LotRO. Is it worth starting for square one or no? Yes, it's definitely worth it. The LotRO it's a ton of fun. What can I say about it here? I mean, the game is a ton of fun, but the free-to-play model is really quite good. You can download it. You can start playing. You can create... I have access to all the classes now. But, so there's a few classes you have to buy. Runekeeper, Warden, Bjorning. The one, this particular class of this character is a Bjorning. And I think that's it. I think you just have to buy those 3 classes. I might be wrong. Somebody in chat can correct me if I'm wrong. But you can try out all the other classes. So that leaves you with like 5 or 6 classes to try. Depending on what you like what type of play you like. There's the hunter is like the ranged, typical ranger archetype, shooting bow and arrow and so forth and so on. You get to move around in the battlefield a lot, make ranged attacks. The lore master is sort of kind of the archetype of the druid. They're trying to keep everything fair to the books. So, but the lore master, you can command pets and whatnot. The guardian is your traditional tank. It's pretty straightforward to solo if you get into the game, but it doesn't do a lot of damage. So you get great survivability, but you might find fights to be a little long. The champion is a melee fighter. They do a lot of damage, so fights tend to end quickly. What else do we have? The minstrel is a ranged. It's kind of your healer, but they've also got a very good damage potential to them. So yeah, once you get in, and you can play through the starting areas for all of those classes. And you can kind of get a sense of the game and what you may or may not like. I think you end up with like 5. When you start playing for free, I think you end up with 5 character slots in one server. That in and of itself is going to be many, many hours of playtime. And you should have kind of a pretty good sense for how the game starts and plays. Hunter, Minstrel, Champ are great starting classes. Yeah, for sure. Hunter and Minstrel are ranged. The Champ will have a bow, but really you just use the bow to draw aggro on something, pull it toward you. I don't think you end up doing a lot of damage with your bow. The Champ does a lot of damage And you get into these trait trees eventually. So I have 13 points. This will go to 87, I think is the maximum right now, at level cap of 115. I might be wrong about that. So you'll get blue line, red line, and yellow line. And, you know, you just jump into whatever class and just hover over. Here, I can go to this other one. So here, I haven't picked one in this slot. So it's like emphasizes the durability of the bear form, consumes wrath to deal crushing damage, provides healing and crowd control support. So it's just kind of, each class has kind of some internal specialties that they can look at. But it's fun when you get into it. When you start out, don't worry about the complexity of this. You'll start out, you'll play for an hour or two before you get one trait point. Like, you're not going to have to worry about it. You'll have like 2 or 3 things you can do down in your hotbar, and it's a pretty easy game to start. So yeah, the gameplay is fun. The community is super terrific to play with. You'll find lots of great streamers doing LotRO. I'm not going to list them all, but I will do that one. So that's the official channel, and it's not just game developers. A lot of players will stream on that channel, so you'll get some very good content on that stream to help you out. What else can I say? Oh, if you like the books, if you like the fiction, this game is considered to be one of the best adaptations of the books. You said max level is 150. No, 115. It just got changed when we got to Mordor. So the game is 10 years old. It started in kind of this area. If you take the bottom right corner here and ignore it, the original game was the rest of this area. Ogovic will have to correct me if I'm wrong about this, because he's actually played 10 years and I have not. So, but this was basically the map, and you don't play with Frodo or Gandalf or Aragorn. You meet them. You meet all the Fellowship, and you meet Elrond and Galadriel, and you meet King Theoden. You meet Denethor and Faramir. You meet all the characters from the books, but nothing you do will ever contradict what is done in the books. So you actually have your own story, and you play along beside them. So as Frodo is headed from the Shire to Rivendell, you actually hear about this threat coming out of Angmar, and you have to go and deal with this threat in Angmar. And that's from level 1 to 50. You're just kind of a step behind them, though following them. Yeah, exactly. You're always, the Fellowship is always sort of just ahead of you. You actually meet up with them in Rivendell, which is actually kind of cool. So when the Fellowship leaves the last homely house on December 25th, you're actually there, and you wave goodbye to them, which again doesn't contradict the books. The books doesn't have a problem with some people being there. So, but generally you don't get to interact directly with the Fellowship, especially during key parts of the story. But it's really cool how they've woven, how the LotRO game developers have woven their own story within the story of the books. Anyway, I love the book, so I probably went on way too long about that. So yeah, the fiction is awesome. The story is great. The quests, the free-to-play model will give you the epic quest lines for free. And you'll be able to go through all of the epic story, and the epic story is this very long narrative that travels along with the Fellowship all the way to Mordor. And just last year, they released Mordor. So we were in Ariadur, and then we had Ravanian added, and then Rohan added, and then Gondor added, and now we have Mordor added. So this is all of Mordor. We have this little area up here in the northwest, and this is the new content, and this will take you from level 105 to level 115. So yeah, there's tons of story. My first character that I took from level 1 to level cap, which I think was 100 when I hit it, it took me 701 hours of play time to hit level 100 on that character. So there's lots of things to do in the game, and you can have a lot of fun doing it. Community's great. Make sure to check out LotRO stream. On LotRO stream, you'll find a much bigger chat room of LotRO players. I'm working on mine still. But you'll probably find some people. If you're having trouble finding people to play with, you can always just jump on and just say, "Hey, I'm on this server." People are pretty open. I realize the Twitch chat isn't for self-promotion, but generally speaking, you can go in and ask questions of people, and they'll have no problem with it.
Might I take a moment of your time?
Collect tough boar meat. You want tough boar meat? Is the meat tough? It seems like... I don't know why you would want that. So level cap isn't that important. Well, so here's probably one... to be fair, probably one of the downsides of the game right now is... players do get spread out in level, and even though there's probably hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of people playing on this server that I'm on right now, I'm probably not going to run into that many people at level 28 in the North Downs. And that is a bit of a downside. And if you go into Mordor, you're going to find quite a bit more people around. Up and near level cap. So yeah, there is some importance to level cap, but there's still tons of people playing through all of the content in the game. So you will see people, and if you get into a kin, whatever, I don't know how to pick a server. I don't even know where I am right now. I'm on Arkenstone right now. Fairly populated American server. All of the servers are going to be marked either US or EU, and all the servers are physically located in the US. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter technically which one you pick. It's just a matter of they mark specific ones, like a German server, to encourage people who want to play and chat in German to all be on one server together. Last year they did a big server consolidation, and that increased a lot of the player base on every particular server. So you sort of have to find a server that fits your play time. You want kind of a population that's around. But really that comes down, like if you want to get into groups and whatnot, the best way to do that is to find an active kin. They use words that are a little bit different than other MMOs. So instead of calling it a guild, they call it a kinship. I don't think I'm in one. I am not. So I can't even show it to you. My kinship panel is empty. I created this character just to stream, so that's all she's doing. But yeah, find a kin, and when you go out and look for a kin, my suggestion would be to, ask them, what time are your normal player bases active, and just make sure that time fits when you're active, and then you hopefully will have people at your level doing the same content that you're doing. But at the end of the day, you can get into this game for no cost, and you can get a very good sense of how good it is before you have to pony up money. There's quite a bit of content that you can do before they ask you to start paying for it. And they will drop, for example, this is my deed log. Deeds are not quests. Deeds are like long-running things that you're going to finish. So this particular deed is defeat Shades in the North Down. So that guy just killed goes toward it. And I get, once I hit 60, they give me 5 LotRO points. And this is the currency you use to buy game things, including content and including expansions. Everything that you can buy in the game, you can buy for LotRO points, and you can earn LotRO points through playing the game. And there are people who have completely free-to-play accounts that have all of the content unlocked. And, you know, they have all the expansions. If you want to earn LotRO points that way, if you want to earn all your LotRO points through the game and never pay for any, it will be a grind. Arij, what are you doing? I am, welcome first. I am leveling up my Bjorning. Killing Shades in the North Down. And trying to count the number of rangers in the world that don't have a campsite fire beside them. So far I've only found 2, and they're both in Breland. I have defeated Gruthigar. Sins, thank you for the follow. I do hope you enjoy the game. I know the game developers are busy working. We're getting into northern Mirkwood. Sometime next year. Considering trying LotRO, I'm a WoW player. Is it a true MMO with real group content, or can you basically do everything yourself? You can basically do everything yourself. Well, that's not entirely true. The game is relatively easy, and they've made the game relatively solo friendly, just to keep their player base up over the years. So the epic quest line that you go through is certainly accessible to solo players. And to the extent that in some cases the epic questline didn't used to be. There used to be points in the epic questline that were specifically group content quests to get through, and they've changed a number of those, and they basically I shouldn't say level up. They basically adjust your class to make it, or adjust your tune to be super powerful. Search for signs of looters. So I'm half paying attention to my quests here. Let me continue. There's a number of quests that are fellowship quests, but they just boost your character. There's a boost called inspiration. And that'll let you get through some group content all by yourself. But of course, you could also group up and do it as a group. And if you are a group, you don't get the boost, and therefore the content is just as challenging. At a number of different levels, I have a level 28 character, so you're not going to see a lot of things. So the instances. These ones scale? Yeah. A lot of these instances will scale. So these are all 6-man instances. So there is a bunch of content that is only accessible to groups. And if you want to go in there and do it, you have to find a group to do it. Hogovic, you can still try to find groups for them as there's a world chat channel, but most will solo it so they can keep moving forward. But I've found others really like to group, but everyone waits for someone else to start. Yeah, guilty as charged on there too. I have such deep respect for people who will just who just find creating groups in these games so easy. Yeah, and Hogovic is referring to the fellowship quests.
Hello there.
I mean, I could... Here, let me...
Will you give me a moment of your time, friend?
Am I in a safe place? I think this might be a fairly safe place. Like, I could start this quest up right now. If I go in there, I'll be dead on the first mob, right? Because it's a 6-man instance. So if you actually want to go through this stuff, you actually have to be... To group up. And there are rewards that will only drop from these instances. Those rewards nowadays, I mean, you're not going to get top-end gear from older instances, but some of that gear comes with cosmetics. I mean, all gear turns into a cosmetic, so if you want a particular look to your character, you can get some rare things out of that. So, that was a long answer, Erge. So yes and no. There is some group-only content. There's a few raids that you can only do in groups and big groups. So it's worth a try. Good. I'm glad it was helpful. I hope I didn't turn it. I hope I wasn't too negative about it. It's, I think it's worth trying. And I mentioned this to Sins before too. The toughest thing right now is probably the player base being, like, I don't know how many players are online. There's only 2 people in the fields of Fornost. Is it Udun? That's not the right level. Oh, wait. Can I search everybody? I don't know if I can. I don't know if this little social panel will let me... Oh. So there's more than 100 entries. And 40% of them are at 114 or higher level. So what's the end game for LotRO? And wow, I was a hardcore raider. Or can you do PvP? What about LotRO at max level? The LotRO is a gear acquiring game. So it's all about you do. I don't have the end game instances in here, but you know, you go through a bunch of the quests, you get decent gear, you get into groups, you do the instances at tier 1, you get better gear, you then upgrade to tier 2, you go through that, and you get better gear, so forth and so on. And then by that time, you know, they've pushed the finish line out in front of you a little bit more. There is a lot of people that are, you know, they will do the end game content as often as possible. That's what they like to do. They are extremely good at the numbers. If you're a min-maxer, you know, you go through your trait trees and you pick your traits. You pick all the gear that you want. This gear gets really complicated later in the game. You get into the legendary item system. Your legendary weapons and class item get leveled up. And then you might actually get multiple sets of them for different types of, you know, if the boss is a melee boss, you might have a particular set of gear, but if the boss is a tactical boss, you know, doing tactical damage or magic damage, you might call it. Okovic, there are various 3, 6, and 12-man raids. Yeah, I haven't mentioned PvMP. PvMP can start at level 40. At auto levels, you to max to compete, but it's very intense at max level. In PvMP, if you can play on monster side or your actual character that you level. Yeah, the PvP in the game is player versus monster player. So you go to some place called the I'm trying to find my map here. You go to a place called the Moors, and so currently the creeps hold the Grimwood Lumber Camp and Tol Askaran. I don't PvP, so I'm not that familiar with this place. Eisendeep. And then the Free Peoples are currently occupying these other blue areas. So you'd go in here and so the Free People come in here and the creeps come in over here, and you would bounce back and forth and basically try and win. So it's basically group versus group content. It's sort of capture the flag around these areas. These areas also have very, very tough NPC mobs at them that you have to deal with. So it's sort of a mix of... It basically means you can't just walk into an empty area and take it. You have to defeat the mobs, which gives the defending side a chance to come in and defend. If you like to PvMP, then there are a couple of really good servers for that. Arkenstone and forgot the other, but would be on forum as well. Hey, Rembenus, Happy New Year. Good to see you. Yeah, what is the other one? I know Bloodborne and Cool Kyle did that stream with the PvMP on the other day, which was just incredible to watch. It was so much fun. Ukirk, thank you for the follow. Thank you. Yeah, Blood is on Ark. All his characters on Ark. Yeah, I think Ark's a pretty good server to pick. I think it's fairly one of the more populated ones. And they are the development team is working on a bunch of PvP balance issues right now. It hasn't been their priority, so it's been neglected. So they are trying to improve upon it. Wait, where am I supposed to take this thing? Okay, stop hitting me. I'm carrying a chest. What's up? I am just hanging out with Gravrith. It's been fun. Thanks for the informative stream. Just coming back after only playing for the first year or so of the game. Quite a good streaming community around LotRO. Yeah, isn't it? I've been like really impressed. Looking back on 2017, that's what New Year's is for, right? A little bit of reflection. I'm like so impressed with the streamers around LotRO.
How can I be of service?
My head is a little clearer now. Hey, it's Colbert the Mad. If you get into the game and you get into the North Downs is content that you have to buy. So if you're not a VIP, and VIP means you have a monthly subscription, and there's different ways to do that. You can, once you get into the game, you can see it. But a bunch of content, you'll go into areas like the North Downs, which is this entire map, and there's a whole bunch of content. I did some content around Trestle Bridge, which took me about an hour, and then I did some content over here on the west side of Fields of Fornost, and now I'm moving over into here. And, you know, you go out, and this is one big piece of content that you're going to have to buy if you want to play it. And I don't even know what it costs. I've been a VIP forever, so I've always had access to the content. So I'm not even a very good person to ask how much it costs or what you have to buy. I know that this one you have to buy. So it's sort of like quest packs that you buy. But you'll get to meet this guy who's Colbert the Mad, who, while Fornost is covered in ghosts and orcs, the most dangerous thing are actually bears. And Colbert the Mad is actually a nod to Stephen Colbert of the Colbert Report, who, of course, went on for years with this shtick that the biggest threat to America is bears. So they put this guy in here as a nod to Stephen Colbert. And Stephen Colbert is a huge Middle-earth Tolkien fan, so, which is why they dropped him into the game. Oops. Apparently I need to pick one of these.
Could I speak with you a moment?
I never knew that. LOL. Yeah, that's you have to, the first quest, I can't go back to the first quest anymore. The first quest text, if you read it, he goes on about, sure, there's ghosts and there's orcs, but there's bears. It's very excited about it. Find the treasure hunter's camp. I'm probably not going to go into Fornost. Fornost is that group content I was telling about. There's a bunch of it up there. I'm going to go and help out. Maybe I will. I'm going to dash over here. On my way, I'm going to go by the Falconer's Tower. Since it's part of a deed. I'm trapped. There it is. Ukirk, well, I hope you enjoy your trip back, man. If you played in the first year, the game is different. Did you Warg Slayer? Oh, I got a Warg Slayer dude too. Here's these maddened bears. Did you have Urkik? Did you get your character from 10 years ago? 9 years ago? Yeah, it's all there. Oh, nice. That's awesome. What server were you on 10 years ago? Does it just happen to be one of the servers that's still up? I'm tooling around and relearning my minstrel. Well, according to Hogovic, I saying that right, Hogovic? That's going to be a big change. The biggest thing about your minstrel is that you have a massive amount of DPS potential. Arc started beta there. Oh, nice. The Arkenstone. In beta even. That's impressive. Orcs everywhere. Yeah, he's so strange now. I abandoned him for a Berg back then. Oh man. Can't imagine Bergs would be fairly different now too. Okay, I'm gonna leave this quest. I'm not gonna do this one right now. So I am hoping, my streaming hopes are to stream this character and pretty much all of this character's gameplay. I'm probably not going to stream the hour I did this afternoon of grinding out crafting materials. Probably not going to stream that. It's not that interesting. But I am trying to stream it. I'm going to try and stay on level. So one of the things you can buy from the store is this thing called Stone of the Tortoise. And it disables XP gain so that you do not level up. And I have it actually enabled, which is what my bar... If I do this, this bottom bar changes. I don't know how well you can see that through Twitch. Depends on your monitor size and stuff, or video size. But I'm level 28, and I'm like... whatever, 3/4 of the way through level 28. But my quests and my quest log, so my epic quest is white, and it is also level 28. And I'm getting pretty close to 29, so I just put a cap on it. So I put that thing on, and then I can come back and do all this content. So I'm actually gonna play this character and do most of the content in the game on level. Minis are crazy powerful now. One of the best PvP classes too. Oh, that's funny. I tried PvP, and I tried it with my mini, and I died very quickly. But I am very certain that had very little to do with the class, and more with the putts playing it. I thought there was an auto quest around here somewhere. I guess not. Yeah, minis are fun. If you like to solo, minis are a fun solo class. They're very powerful because even when you have to take on a group of mobs, unless they're all range mobs, like if you're going to take on 4 mobs, like 2 of them are going to be dead before any of them get to you. So you're just taking on 2 mobs. Now, of course, your great skills are on cooldown at that point, but and at some level, and I can't remember where, you get one crowd control skill, which basically it'll frighten a target and they'll run off for like a minute, as long as it's not being damaged. So you got to make sure you don't put a damage over time on it before you do that, because the next tick on the damage over time will reset them and they'll come after you. Everyone melts when it meets a few wargs. Yeah, well, I met one warg. I did not know what I was doing. Where am I going? Okay, I need to get some boar for these people. Some tough boar meat. These people they don't have much taste. They want tough boar meat. From you, I assume. What do you want? Guess I can go get the other quests up here. By the way, if you're into the lore, if you want to get into Middle-earth lore, this symbol is the symbol of Rude Hour, because when the men of the West at the end of the Second Age came over to Middle-earth from Numenor, which fell, they settled all of Gondor, Arnor, and Cardolan. It's not really shown on the map anymore. And this was the people of Rude Hour. And there was a bunch of wars and stuff and everything. So all of these runes you find will actually make fictional sense within Middle-earth going back thousands and thousands of years. Like this statue. We don't know what the orb is, and this guy's holding a sword. The ruler always held a scepter, so there's the scepter. Anyway, I'm a bit of a lore nut, so I will always point that stuff out. Search for missing relics. The burglar is a fun class too, Ukirk. The only problem with the Berg is that it's got very little multiple target damage, and it's got one bleed. No. How many bleeds does it have? It doesn't have that many bleeds, or does it? Well, I'm playing my burglar in Redline, so for all I know, the other burglars have better ones. But man, single target damage is just ridiculous. If you get to sneak up behind your target, they quite often don't get to hit you. They just immediately die. Just seems like a much harder rotation. Yeah, and I'm not very good at... I've done Redline Burglar, which is a fairly straightforward rotation once you kind of learn it. A lot of people play the Gambler, which is the blue line Burglar. And that one gets more complicated. Check out the Budapest. I'll give the Budapest a shout out. Hopefully I spelled his name right, because my little command here doesn't check for spelling. I'm going to make sure. Check out the Budapest. He does endgame content right now with a blue line burglar. I haven't learned the talent trees yet. It's a process. Yeah, for sure it is. And it takes a while. Most classes don't get their full set of skills until like level 60. That's a long way into the game. You get the vast majority of them by probably level 40 or 45, but and then occasionally they'll at level 60 they'll just suddenly upgrade something from you. So some skill is just a little bit different. Yeah, it is well. If you like the details, If you like the details of all your skills, it is worth spending some time just reading all these little pop-ups. I mean, the one I'm showing you, skin change, is a pretty straightforward one, but you know, understanding that, you know, my DOT B-Storm here has a cooldown of 12 seconds and it lasts for 12 seconds. And that kind of information is useful to know about all your skills. Like how much does it cost? How long does it last? If it's a bleed or something like that. Because when you get into the legendary item system at level 50, you're going to start getting, your legendary item will have 7 legacies on it. Your endgame one will have 7 legacies on it. And each of those legacies will upgrade something. It might be a single skill. It might be a single type of damage. Like rune keepers can get can upgrade their fire damage output, which is very useful for a redline rune keeper. Minstrel can upgrade light damage, and minstrels dump a lot of light damage on mobs. Oh, I don't have to go back to the statue. The statue doesn't want the relics. So I find myself doing this quite a bit, just kind of hovering over. How much damage does this do again? How much damage does this do again? On something like a burglar, your skills in your burglar change like... It's the chain, right? If you do this, or the captain's even worse. It's like, do this one, and then do that one, and then do the third one, and I don't even know what their names are. I know lots of people that remember all their names, but I never remember the skill names. Mine are easy. Slash, slam... expose, and biting edge. Slash and slam. I like to think of the Bjorning as the Hulk of the of Middle Earth. Just rage bashing everything in sight. So here's another ranger that doesn't have a campfire nearby. There's a brazier down here. That's kind of weird. But no campfire.
What can I do for you?
There's your tough
Would you do
boar
something
meat.
for me?
Avoid goblins? I don't want to avoid goblins. I'm a Bjorning. I want to smash goblins. Don't really want either of those. Nice dog, though. Just hanging out, sleeping. Irhu? Irhu?
I'm sure it will do no good.
Defeat wargs. There, somebody was asking about LotRO points. I have just earned, for doing quests, and I have done all of these quests today. I finished this one, which gave me 10 LotRO points, and I finished this one, which gave me 10 LotRO points. And I tend to think of LotRO points as a penny. They're a little bit more expensive than a penny when you buy them, but I just think of them as a penny. So I earned 20 cents today playing LotRO. The time for stealth is over. For a man nearby needs your help. He ran off. I wanted to kill that goblin.
What do you need? Would you do
Kemp
something
Wheeler.
for me?
Reputation changed. Greatest thing about 10-year-old games is that there are systems on top of systems on top of systems. I guess great thing if you like lots of systems. But there's the rep system. And I am now known to the Rangers. And I get all those benefits. Defeat goblins and destroy goblin tents. Well, this is a much better plan. Find and defeat the chief. I think somebody's been here before me. There's no goblins. See, I was going on about how I probably wouldn't run into anybody, and somebody named Teep Finder has killed everything but the wolves. I gotta admit, one of the nicest conversations to have when streaming LotRO is introducing it to potentially new players. I'm probably not going to sell everybody. Man, I do like this game a lot. So I had not seriously gamed in some years and started this game on a 10-day trial. That was 10 years ago. Yeah, that was even before free to play. I think I got into it. When did free to play happen? So I think that's probably when I first got into it. Shows how it can pull you in, the world that is. Yeah, it sure can. The game developers that do this are just... It sounds very cliche-ish, but this game is like very special. Like, there's a... I was trying to remember There's a quest. I think it might be... I think there's a quest in the Lone Lands. And if you read through the quest text, they talk about... Because there's... Who are the bad guys there? There's the Kraoth or something like that. The Kraoth. There's a bunch of bad guys in and around Hrogmar and in or Agumar, I guess. Garth Ogeron up in here. And there's, I think this is where it was. There's quest text talking about the fact that they were poisoned and they had to escape that poison. And you do this quest at like level 20 or 20, I guess, whatever, 25-ish. Well, the architect of the poison that poisoned them is actually in Agernaith, and it's Laernaith at the court of Saragost, and the whole storyline in here finishes that storyline, that little story about the poison from 90 levels ago. And those quests would have been developed 11 years apart. And you never notice, like I didn't notice it when I got here, right? I noticed it because I happened to have a character that is probably somewhere right around here somewhere right now. That's my main character. And I noticed it because I was playing another character, and it was probably Gravrith that I saw it on. And yeah, I realized that, man, if you pay attention to the stories that they've written, there's a lot of subtlety that they add. They don't tell you about it. It's there for you to discover, but they don't bother trying to put it out right out in front of your face. Which is very much what Tolkien did too. Tolkien did a lot of things in his books that were subtle. He mentioned things. This wrecked fence needs some fixing by the looks of it. Okay, to defeat wargs. Oh, yeah, that's right. I gotta get the wargs with the scarecrows. That is why I loved Mordor, seeing where all those evils that spread across Middle-earth came from. Oh, I know, right? And it's I realized that, to some degree, like a lot of the story that we're getting isn't Tolkien's story. I don't think Tolkien wrote a lot of detail about, about why the dwarves are there, or why the Easterlings are there, or why the Haradrim are there, or whatnot. But I come to respect the, especially, like Maid of Lions, Jeff Libby, and Chris Pearson so much that the story just still feels totally real. Very appropriate for Middle-earth. More wargs. Those guys do a great job. Yes, they do. Yeah, I saw an interview, or heard an interview with Chris Pearson. Chris Pearson started working on this game 17 years ago. That is a long time to work on one piece of software. Although having said that, J.R.R. Tolkien worked on his books for about 80 years. So. That about right? He died at 81, so about 75 years. Yeah, I think it was 17 years. I think he started in 03. No, that would be 14 years. Probably remembering. But obviously he started several years before the game was released because they had to build the whole game before the game was released. It's going to be interesting to see where the game goes, as with all the streaming and returning people looking into the game. Heck, even gold spammers are back. Yeah, I know. That's the... I forgot to mention that. It's like, how's this game doing? It's like, well, on the gold spammer index, it's doing very well. Gold spammers don't waste their time with dying games. Oh, hello there. I need to kill you. And you, although I'm running out of wrath. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they can do in 2018. I know there's tons of people going on and on about the 64-bit client. I'm just not that optimistic that an upgrade to 64-bit is going to do anything, but it does give them a chance to go over all the code, and so maybe there'll be some side effect changes that go into that. I do like the playing through these old areas is interesting, of course, when you get a... Why do I have a quest reward that has a two-handed axe that gives me will? That's not very useful. All right, I am going to truck on over to this quest stop and turn in these quests. I have managed to help out some of the folks in North Downs, and then I'm going to log out and go make dinner, since it is coming up on my dinner time. First, I want to say Happy New Year to everybody in chat. Thank you so much for joining me. All those people who are left, thanks so much. If you haven't already, please hit the follow button. That would be greatly appreciated. You can see the next time Gravrith comes back to help out rangers and find out how many rangers are missing campfires. I know for a fact that the next ranger we see does in fact have a campfire. So that will be rectified. Let's see who else is streaming LotRO. Oh, Druid's Fire is streaming LotRO. Druid's Fire is a wonderful LotRO streamer on the official LotRO stream. If you aren't already lurking on her channel, I am going to... I don't quite have enough people to make a raid look great, so I am just going to do a host because I would like to host her channel anyway. And I'm going to drop in and say hi there. So please join me over at Druid's Fire and say hi. She's got a cool story to tell today, and I am not going to tell it. So you should ask her what cool story happened today to her if you don't already know. Druid's Fire. So again, thank you very much. I got a few follows today. What did I get? Did I thank everybody? Ukirk, Sins, thank you very much for the follows. Much appreciated. Thanks to everybody in chat who hung out, Hogavik especially. It was a great learning about some of your experiences back from 10 years ago. If you do start streaming, make sure you come into my channel and let me know. And I will definitely come over and check you out. Thanks, everybody, and take care, and have a great 2018.
Gravity is hosting! Gravity, one of my fellow kinnies from the Mythgard kin over on Landreval. Thank you for the host. Thank you for visiting. Thank you for your support in this time of need. I am so grateful for the generosity and kindness of the LotRO community. You can't, you don't even know. Alright, we're done with those. Let's go over here, run around the cook. Hit up the forge, and we're going to get out of those. And I'm OCD about that. I always want those nice and closed. Use them to extract the Rittermark ore. I have a ton of that. Yay! Now Griffin-Storm can spam more emotes. Gravity is also an awesome streamer. You should follow Gravity too. I rated Gravity from the official last week. It was amazing. It was actually rather fun.
Well met.
Sabs is hosting! Alright, we're gonna do some shout outs here. I just said the all Canadian like.